hatches, so I think that got thrown a lot of whack. So we see an Inquisition, a Lightning Bolt, a Liliana, and a Swamp, and he's mulliganing. I'm assuming Swamp is probably his only land.
Yeah, and Bolt is also sort of like a virtual mulligan. It does...
I mean, multiple bolts are good, right?
4, if you have got your opponent down to 8. Or 4 bolts actually kills 1 Worm Coil engine.
That is true.
And it's 2 tokens.
That is true. Worm Coil engine also very good versus Jund.
Yeah. Karn also very good. Planeswalkers in general also very good versus Jund.
Oblivion Stone very good versus Tron.
Oblivion Stone, yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
Because they generally have to get multiple cards into play, right?
Yeah.
He's got a Liliana, two Lilianas. I mean, do you mulligan that hand? I mean, it's a pretty aggressive mulligan. If you know what Justin is playing. We don't know if Kyra knows at this point. I'm assuming he does because the players have all been fairly close, so he probably has a good idea of what he's playing.
I feel like it's really close. You can probably keep it and hope. I think your ideal hand is like a Thoughtseize into a Tarmogoyf, or a Thoughtseize into a Dark Confidant. Yeah, so...
Justin's hand. Justin has a Tower, 2 Mines, an Ulamog, and then 3 Cyclers.
Which is a reasonable Tron hand. It's not like the best, but it's certainly not a mulliganable hand, I think.
Yeah, I think any...
Kyra did top deck a Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, just like I drew it up.
No Thoughtseize, though. But he does have Liliana to pressure Justin's hand.
Yeah.
Justin has 2 pieces of Tron and a Spellskite, which Kyra has a couple options here, right? He could... Well, I think he's playing a Liliana no matter what. The question is, does he use it to destroy the Spellskite? If he does that, it does... Yeah, I think you would. Just to get the damage in, or no?
It's only 1 point of that, right?
Well, he has a land in the graveyard. There's already an artifact in the graveyard. The problem is upticking. Upticking is kind of appealing to me. That's Drew's phone. He's a bad streamer.
True. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see the merit in upticking because you want to pressure Justin's hand because that may be the only way you have to disrupt him.
Right. Also, your hand has a lot of blanks.
But he goes ahead and just gets rid of the Spellskite.
Yeah, and maybe you just want to put a fast clock on him. I think Kyra probably... I don't know what the right play was, but I suspect Kyra probably made it. It's also nice, too, because you know they're not going to kill your Lily.
The problem with Tron is once they have Tron online, pressuring their hand becomes a lot worse, right? Because basically...
They just need any one card.
Yeah, any one card. And their top decks... It's funny because Tron top decks are either incredibly anemic or incredibly powerful. And Jund can't control the top of their deck in any way, so... Justin is looking to maybe get his 3rd piece of Tron here. He's cycled through a star and a sphere. Looks like he has it. So he does have Tron. So he's got 3 mana this turn. So he could play like a Living Stone, goes for a Sphere, which I believe he needs to tap that tower for. Oh, no, because of the mana from the star. That's right. He still has 3 mana. Nothing to do with it.
I wish he was playing old school Tron lands whose pictures I actually know. I actually have a Tron deck built, and I play the white border ones in it because this makes searching way easier.
Yeah. Kyra's going to go ahead and uptick before combat to make the Tarmogoyf bigger, hopefully. Yep, gets a Planeswalker in the graveyard. He's going to bolt, I think, just to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger.
Yep, I like that play as well. So Kyra definitely knows his game plan, wants to put Justin on as short a clock as possible. Hope nothing crazy happens from the Tron side of the board.
Justin needs to top deck another tower to play the Ulamog.
That we know he has in hand. So he's cycling. So not sure what color he added. I don't know if it matters at this point. Possibly a green could be good.
He had an Ulamog. Oh, an Ulamog. That's right. I was thinking of Ugin. I'm like, what? He can just cast. Yeah, Ulamog is Maogen in charge, but cost 10.
Yeah, but he needs another tower in order to cast it. But any a Worm Coil Engine or a Karn is good here. Oblivion Stone is good here.
World Breaker.
So, I mean, he's got plenty of good cards for this situation, I think. World Breaker is okay, but he can just remove it with the Liliana.
Yep.
So it's probably the worst of all of those cards.
Yes. And most Tron lists now run 2 Worm Coil and 2 World Breaker, so...
Yeah, Worm Coil would have been much better here than World Breaker. So Kyre looks like he has a Decay, which isn't really going to do anything. He's going to go ahead and sacrifice to get rid of the World Breaker. Drew a Kalitas, which unfortunately he can't cast because Justin did get rid of the land. So Justin needs an answer to this Tarmogoyf now. And I believe that will do it with the Ulamog. So the question is, do you remove 2 lands with Ulamog, or do you just go ahead and remove the Tarmogoyf?
He gets remove the Tarmogoyf.
Just to...
It's very unlikely your Ulamog's gonna... But he could have Slaughter Pact or...
Terminate.
Terminate.
Well, if he has a Terminate in hand. No, because it's a cast trigger, so that doesn't work. Yeah, so Slaughter Pact would be his out. But I think Kyre's in a bad spot now, because all he has is a Decay that he can cast in his hand.
I agree.
Which doesn't do much. In fact, he should have probably even decayed the Expedition map on that turn, but I don't think it is going to really matter.
Yeah, I don't think there's a big difference between a million mana and a million mana plus 3. So close, I think. In for a game 1, I think Kyre played that very well. He mulliganed, but he was able to put early pressure on, and Justin had a couple turns to top deck, and
yep.
He got his mana. He made Tron and got his mana for Ulamog. Jen generally brings in Fulminator Mages.
Ah, yes, Fulminator Mage. Do they usually have what's the Sowing Salt card? The Strictly Better Sowing Salt? I can't remember what the name of it is.
Crumble the Dust.
Crumble the Dust.
Sometimes they do. I don't think it's very likely. There was a lot of Tron today, so maybe. If you were metagaming a little, you might have that. Generally rely on Fulminator Mages, particularly good since most Jund decks have adopted Kolaghan's Command now as well. So, get it going early, blow up some land, blow up some more land, hopefully keep your opponent off Tron, but still a very tough matchup.
Yeah. Yep, even with Kyre being able to effectively remove that World Breaker, still couldn't deal with the Ulamog.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Tron now has so many options available to it in terms of its end game cards.
Yep.
Than earlier versions.
Yeah, Tron's interesting right now. There's 3 to 4 different versions that people play as well. There's sort of the traditional green-red Tron. There's green-white, there's mono-green, there's green-black, there's Eldrazi Tron, some people play.
Eldrazi Tron?
Yeah, I've seen that list. I think it has Eldrazi temples and the Tron pieces and
okay.
powers out Tron guys, so this might be maybe when there's like 5 different versions of the deck, that's an indication that it's broken.
Or people just haven't figured out what the best version is.
Yeah, but lots of different versions, lots of different ways you can go. It's base colorless, so it's sort of what you want to splash. Spencer said he played against the green-black Tron, and that's just basically mono-green Tron splashing for Collective Brutality. Tom Ross won a Star City Invitational with green-white Tron, which has it has just a lot of good sideboard cards to show up your matchups, because white has some of the best hate in Modern, so...
Stony Silence and Rest in Peace.
Well, you can't Stony Silence.
Rest in Peace?
Yeah. Rest in Peace. Blessed Alliance is sort of the one there to show up your Infect and Burn matchups.
Okay.
Yep. Rest in peace. I've seen mono green Tron lists.
Just more streamlined, more like...
Yeah, sort of more streamlined. And they'll have...
It doesn't want to mess around with hate cards or anything like that. It just wants to just be as linear as possible and get as fast a Tron.
Danny Cathro actually qualified at the last RPTQ with mono green Tron with 4 Fog main deck.
Okay.
They can sort of help with his matchups. Help with infect, help with whatnot. He got some great stories where dead on board Fog, top deck Danugan.
I feel like if I was playing a deck like that, I'd be like, all right, Fog, and then I would like top deck a land.
I feel like
that's how my stories would go.
Yeah, I think my stories would be like, I drew 4 Fogs, I played them all, and then I died the next turn. But yeah, so lots of different ways you can take it. On Justin's side, no, it's a pretty favorable matchup. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs really to change too much of his main deck, right? I mean, do they have Ghost Quarters? They have Ghost Quarters main deck, right? On the Tron side?
Yeah, usually they'll have 1 or 2.
Okay. Mostly just as a corner case for an out to... all I can think of is Sowing Salt. I can't think of the...
the Ghost Quarter your own land. Yeah. I mean, it's good in the mirror.
But... Yeah, I don't
it's
think...
good versus...
I can't think of too many cards he would really want to...
Oh, it's good versus Infect and Infinity, Ghost Quarter. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't know Justin has one, but I assume... Justin recently got engaged, so congratulations to Justin.
Congrats.
And Spencer Holland has entered the booth.
Howland.
Holland. Howland. Whole land.
So we have Justin Sloan up a game.
Yes.
In a very, very good matchup for him.
Looks like he's mulliganing again, so mulligan to 5.
I feel like that has to improve Kyra's chances of winning the matchup.
Winning the game, yes.
I like to preach that you don't your chances increase when you mulligan. Because you're mulliganing a hand that can't win into possibly one that can.
So I agree with that, but I also feel like your opponent's chances...
yeah.
Maybe your opponent's chances increase at the same proportion, so maybe it's just a wash. But I mean...
All right, well, that's the frustrated...
is that a mull to 4?
Yeah, that's the frustrated mulligan to 4. So basically, at this point, Justin is just hoping to have 4 Tron lands and have them match, and then the top of his deck is all Haymakers, so they don't get discarded.
Yeah, I think the best... Yeah, 4 land would be great. And then you make your opponent waste it. You go up on hard because your opponent
thought seized you.
Yeah. I mean, it's really rough to mulligan to 4, but Tron's definitely a deck where, you can get lucky if you make Tron and then...
Yeah, and then if the top of your deck
top of your deck can be live. And I mulled the 3 early.
I saw 2 whiteboarded cards, so that's good. And a star. Yeah, that's... I think one was a forest, though, unfortunately.
I was going to say, isn't that an Ancient Strings?
I think he has a star and a stirrage, but I don't know if one of the lands is a forest or not. Karn Forests, Power Plant takes the star.
Trav came to tell us Justin's hand, but we just saw the whole thing.
Here's Kyra's hand. He has Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant, Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Dark Confidant, and 2 lands.
So he has spells versus no spells.
Yeah. Justin had an opener of Karn, Mine, Forest, Star.
I'm interested to see that with him hitting Artifact, that he's not leading with the Goyf then.
Just to apply pressure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Goyf is only one bigger, and I think with this hand, you really want to hit a Fulminator Mage. So I think I like playing Confidant there. I don't know how much Goyf substantially increases your clock.
So he's going to go in Thoughtseize.
I think you take Karn?
You have a Liliana, which will get rid of the World Breaker, so yeah, I would take Karn.
Oh, that's why he didn't... That's why he played the Dark Confidant, is because he didn't have a land.
Ah, see, it makes even more sense.
Yeah.
side.
I don't believe he hit a land there either.
No, it looks like he did. He got a
Okay.
Blood Crypt
Nah, a 5-power Goyf is going to end this game quickly.
in 2
Oh,
turns.
yeah.
Oh, but he managed to hit a land.
Boom.
So he's, all of Kai's lands are black, so it doesn't matter. He just takes out the green
Yeah.
one.
This Dark Confidant play is going to be very good for getting all of these extra cards, especially considering his draw.
Is that a collective brutality?
No, that
No,
was
it's
the
a-
other art of
The ugly Dark
Oh.
Confidant. The non-Bob Maher Dark Confidant.
The Skrillet Dark Confident?
Yeah. He could attack with the Goyf and trade the
can't-
Goyf.
Yeah,
for
he
the
also has a
bolt.
bolt in his hand, which means that he can attack that Goyf freely into that World Breaker.
Warbreaker is a 5/7? Or
The other option he also has is he could just bolt. He could wait a turn and then bolt his face and then maybe hope to draw land and end the game. But that opens him up to if he gets like Oblivion Stoned or Ugin.
is Kyre down to 9?
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage from his Dark Confidant in his lands.
Huh. Justin made Tron. That's great. This game's super interesting. I thought it wouldn't be. Kyre's, we're assuming, stuck on 2 land?
Yeah, well, he hit 3 lands and then Worldbreaker took one of them out.
Right, and he didn't draw land this turn.
Yep. So I think he's debating about whether he wants to attack with the Tarmogoyf and trade the Bolt and the Goyf for the Worldbreaker, or whether he just wants to play a second Dark Confidant, but that's really risky.
Does he have another Goyf in his hand?
Yeah, he can't cast it.
Oh, but he
though.
can't cast it. Justin's at 13.
That's what it was showing before, yeah.
Yeah, it's 13 Justin, 9 for.
I think our iPad died, so it's been replaced by Justin Sloan's boogie board.
We'll get that fixed before the top 8.
Yeah, Kaya's really been thinking, I think, tanking for a while too on this, which is fair. I think this is a pretty difficult turn. So he just passes.
Did he not have a bolt? Was I wrong?
I think he does have a Bolt.
He did. Ooh. Ancient Strains off. That's better. That's about the best thing you draw, other than
Other than the actual card.
yeah, other than an actual card.
Saw a couple spheres, an expedition map.
It didn't look like anything too great.
Chromatic sphere, not the most exciting when you've already got Tron online.
Right. And I think you just leave that in play. I wouldn't.
Yeah, just sit on it. There's no reason to crack it right now since you can't cast anything.
Right.
Well, does he have worm coils? He could cast a worm coil if he hits it.
If he has worm coils, maybe. Sometimes I like saving the draw just because.
I do too. I don't want to
don't
risk my 1 worm coil for my Ugin.
Getting discarded.
Right.
Yeah.
But it all worked out.
All right, so Kaya's going for the play of try to possibly get very close to killing you, but he needs a land in order for this to work. I couldn't see the Confidant draw.
He missed his Confidant trigger.
He did draw Pulse, and he did draw. Is that a fetch land? It is.
Oh, maybe he
Or
didn't miss the Confidant
Yeah,
trigger.
I may have to draw a land off it.
So he's probably going to go to 6 here and get a Overgrown Tomb.
Does it have 2 overgrown too?
Stomping Ground?
Alright. I'm sure it can find a land.
Just a green source.
Yeah. Does he have a Liliana in his hand?
I'm pretty sure he had a Liliana.
Yeah, so if he has a Liliana in his hand, I
He, had,
think
he flashed a Pulse for sure. So he's
or,
got
or
it.
a Maelstrom. Oh, he has a Maelstrom pulse.
Yeah, so he's
Okay.
got a couple ways to
couple ways to clear the World Breaker out of the way and just
Yep.
attack.
and then just hope Justin doesn't top deck.
Yeah, it's interesting. Bolter is still in.
Maybe
It
he
just
just doesn't
means,
have
I think it
anything to
means you just
board.
don't have a lot to bring out, and they are good to shorten the clock, which is definitely what you want to do in this matchup. So.
I don't know if the life total is correct for Kyer. I think he took 3 from playing the land.
Sounds right. You should go correct it. And we think Kyra should be at 6.
Well, Justin's definitely at 3 after that
Yeah.
attack.
In the event, Justin goes to 3. I like that Kyer played the Liliana instead of Maelstrom Pulsing because Pulse can kill a Planeswalker if it comes down,
Like an Ugin, possibly.
like an Ugin or a Karn. So I like keeping that in your hand
Yeah.
more than the Lily.
Also, just the general rule of having a Planeswalker in play
Yeah.
is just better.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you a little weaker to Oblivion Stone, but it's not like you're...
Well, Liliana's not going to pressure his life total, right?
Right.
So,
I mean, if you're both in top deck wars, Liliana can sometimes tick up and then eat half the Tron pieces, but it's kind of unlikely.
yeah, I think this
Yeah.
game is going to be determined either by a lethal attack or Justin top decking an answer to this board.
Right.
But Kyer still has a handful of gas at this point. A 4th land will let him cast that Chandra. Justin also sacrifices Horizon Canopy, so he's up to 3 cards. One of them we know is a tower off the Expedition map. So he does get 2 looks this turn to find an answer. So he plays the tower we know he has, so he's 2 unknowns. Looks like he drew an expensive card, Karn.
Karn.
So he has to exile the Tarmogoyf
Right.
in order to not die. Kyre's life total may matter. Oh, is that 6? Because maybe does the app show it up and down, I believe?
Yeah, I think Kyer's at...
Oh, he's at 4, yep. Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking it was... So he's at 4 now, which is he could potentially die from his own Dark Confidant. Not likely.
I think if he has a land, he'll win
Because he can just play Chandra.
because he could just play Chandra.
It's just into 1. Maelstrom pulses the Karn. Says go.
Wisely takes back his Tarmogoyf. Always a good play.
I mean, Justin has, I think almost every card in his deck that's expensive is pretty good here. Outside of a World Breaker, right? World Breaker isn't very good. Oh, Oblivion Stone. So I think, would you have let him draw an extra card with the Confidant?
I would not have. I don't think. It's very unlikely.
Unlikely for him to lose the game, right?
I think it's very unlikely for him to lose the game. The only card I can think of that they sometimes play is Huntmaster of the Fells. That's 4, or sometimes they have main deck Kalidas.
Well, he did show a Chandra.
Oh, he showed a Chandra. That's true.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe.
I mean, it's a question of, do you think you're going to win?
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to win that game anyway? So do you just gamble, right? Even after popping the Oblivion Stone, do you think you're going to win that game? Because the problem is Justin's at 1, right? So all he needs is 1 whiff, right? He whiffs for 1 turn if Kyer ever has a creature in play and he loses.
Right.
So it might be worth it to go for the 1 in 40 chance, whatever you think the odds are. 2 in 40.
Right. But in any event, Kyer
Top
drew
deck to Kolaghan.
Kolaghan's command, probably only chose 1 mode.
He does unfortunately have to choose 2. He maybe return to creature.
Yeah. But for a mold of 4, that was a really good game.
Yeah, much more interesting game than I thought we were going to have with the Mulligan of 4.
Mr. Padilla is going to message you the hands.
Oh, that makes more sense than him coming in. Yeah, I mean, on a mole to 4 and still be in it.
He drew a lot of good cards, right? He drew a
Yeah.
Karn, and then he drew an Oblivion Stone and
Matron and
Matron. So has there been any interesting updates to Jund, or is it still just Jund?
People kind of switch between different things. So there's Grimflare versions that will play like Seal of Fire and what's the Goblin treble card?
Tarfire.
Tarfire. That don't play Dark Confidant. Instead, they're hyper aggressive with that and just mill themselves a lot. Hopefully. Then most of the versions that are playing Dark Confidant right now are playing 2 Huntmaster of the Fells. It looks like Kyra is playing Chandra. So most of them have moved off of Kalidas, which was really popular about 3 months ago.
Right.
I've been testing Chandra. She's a great fit for the deck.
Is she better than Chandra Pyromaster?
Yeah, that's the question is, because the curve is so much lower, and you don't run into as many Jund mirrors as you did with Pyromaster, hitting the land drops for your Raging Ravines isn't as important.
Right.
So it's actually okay that she doesn't hit the lands.
Yeah, that was always frustrating when you exile a land with her, and you're like, old Chandra would have let me play you, but not you.
Old Chandra actually draws me a card. New Chandra draws me a card 60% of the time.
Are they both keeping?
The metagame for this tournament was very Tron heavy.
Seen a lot of Bant. A lot of Eldrazi decks. So it looks like both kept. Justin has a Tron piece and a star.
Here, Travis has messaged me. Their opening hands. Justin's opening hand is Power Plant, Chromatic Star, Relic, Worm Coil, Razorverge Thicket, Oblivion Stone, and Horizon Canopy. And Kyra's opening hand is Bloodstained Mire, Verdant Catacombs, Scavenging Ooze, Inquisition, Fulminator Mage, Dark Confidant, and Tarmogoyf.
It's a pretty powerful hand from Jund for this matchup, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a good hand. The exact type of hand he wants.
Yep.
He's got a little bit of disruption, early pressure, and a Fulminator Mage.
Up in Justin's hand with only 1 Tron piece.
Which is going to get taken out pretty quickly.
Yep, and no way to directly search for it. So his hand doesn't line up particularly well versus Kyra's hand. But
Do you think you would have mulliganed that hand in an aggressive mulligan?
I don't like the mulligan. But I think the general rule of Tron is you want at least 1 piece and then 1 way to find it or 2. So
yeah, you want a minimum of at
You
least
would
2, I think.
yeah,
right?
so I think
in some way.
Yeah, that hand is tough. I think it's a close call, but it's one I might have mulliganed. I mean, Wormcoil Engine is very good versus Jund, but at the same time,
If you can't cast it,
if you
doesn't
can't
matter.
cast it, not great.
Guy gets a stomping ground. I'm guessing he's going to play Dark Confidant here. Certainly seems better than Scavenging Ooze, considering Scavenging Ooze requires mana to get bigger, and Confidant just is going to net him more cards quickly.
Right. Also, Scooz only grows when it eats creatures, which are going to be
None in the yard currently. Yeah.
short supply. Yeah.
Justin did hit another Tron piece, so he's going to play that Oblivion Stone just out there, which is perfectly reasonable. Kyra's down to 14. Fortunately, the Dark Confidant life loss I don't think matters almost at all versus Tron.
Yeah, I think it's a very rare situation. Although last game it did get awfully close.
Yeah, I think you just go for a Fulminator Mage here, right? Like, the 2 cards in his hand, and I feel like one way the game could slip out of control is if Justin top decks a land and plays a Wormcoil Engine here.
Yeah, you definitely just blow up Tron piece. I think you blow up their mine and a power plant.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You usually take out the tower because it makes 1 more mana when
Right.
Tron's online, but
I would just roll a dice. He goes for the power plant.
yeah, I would have attacked with Dark Confidant first before sacking it, because my opponent had to know it was there.
And maybe you forgot to activate it.
Yeah, but then the way I'm playing lately, I'd probably just forget to activate it. Justin lays Horizon Canopy and passes.
Yep, so no Tron piece, no filter search piece either. Kyra down to 10 from Lands and Dark Confidant, but again, it doesn't really matter. He's got 2 bolts, too, which will close the game out pretty quickly. Yeah, my guess is he's going to go Tarmogoyf pass and then bolt his opponent at the end of turn.
Yep, so Justin's in rough shape.
Yep, he is definitely going to need... he's going to need Tron very quickly. So he needs...
I think he's just dead.
Even if he hits Tron every turn?
Well, so Kai's going to bolt him, untap. Oh, what's Justin's life at? Oh, 18. Okay, so he has 1 more turn. Oh, and a path.
Oh, so he's got several turns now, actually.
So pass during Kai's upkeep, which
Yep.
is a good way to do it. That way the land comes into play tap during their turn. They don't get to use it. Yeah, so Justin's got a little bit more time.
Yeah, he's at 8 basically this turn if Kyre bolts his face again. Kyre probably is just going to play Scavenging Ooze, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so has his draw steps. Oh, maybe not.
Did he not draw? Or was that in the attack step that he did it? I'm not sure. Oh, he has another Tarmogoyf, which is good for him.
6.
So Kyre is short 1 damage currently from ending the game next turn. Justin hit a Ghost Quarter, unfortunately.
So Kyra bolts Justin, puts him to 8, has 7 points of damage.
Justin's at 1 and then takes lethal damage from the Chandra. Yep.
Great, so Kyra wins a tough matchup. Justin's Mulligan to 4 was unfortunate, and Game 3 just wasn't quite able to get there. Fulminator Mage coming out of the sideboard. Good times.